to remember. Well, am I going to get a copy of this stuff?
Oh yeah, I'll get you a copy.
Good. This will start me on a road that I need to go.
Okay, tell me about coming to America.
Oh, are you want to know about the movie? Or you want more with me?
Just tell me the whole story about coming to America.
Okay, I'd reached a point in my life. I'd gone and finished the Bachelor in Theology. I'd been involved in church activities. I needed to go a little further. I needed to do some more studies. What I did was we have the Church of God in Jamaica has a college at Anderson University in Anderson, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did was to apply to come here to the college. In order to get, so when you do that, then I got a permit, the college accepted me. Then I had to go to the embassy, the US embassy. I made sure that I got accepted. They sent me down a letter stating that they have accepted me. I got all the necessary details I needed to go to the US Immigration Office. A bank statement, a letter from the job, because I was not only in the pastorate but I was in school. I had to get a letter from a minister of religion to state who I was, all that stuff. And I had to get a letter from somebody else, a reference from somebody else in the community. When I went,
community where you lived, or the community here in America?
No, the community in Jamaica. I also had to get a letter from somebody here in the States. But that time was my brother, who kind of in a way said, look, it's like an affidavit, that's what it is. If you don't get to pay your bills, then you have to take care of that person. Okay, so he sent me a letter too, and he had to send to say what his bank account was and all that story. What kind of job he was in, how much he was getting, whether it was a secure job or not. Took all of those paperwork. For me, it was, well, then you apply to the US Embassy.
So your brother, when did he come over?
No, he was here. He was here already. He was already here from maybe quite a few years. You know, by the time I came here, he was here from probably in the 60s. You see, he didn't live in Jamaica, so he was in Honduras. He just came over, and he stayed in Honduras. Stayed here. I had his wife and the children, so they were pretty established when he came here. And so I took all of those papers. Went to the embassy. I'm trying to remember if I made an appointment or... You see, they had a time when, no, you had to be there by a certain time. Now, in order for me to get into the embassy at 7 o'clock when it opened, I had to be in line from about 4:30 that morning. Stand in line and wait until the embassy is open. This is at 7:30. By then there's probably about 200-300 people lining up. And then they were taking people until I don't know what number it was. If they couldn't take any more for that day, then that's it. I was just fortunate to be in that first set of people that went in. I went to the immigration officer, the US person. He checked through all my papers, asked me about Anderson, never been here before, but I did all my stories. Yeah, I checked my history. I had a friend of mine who had been here, so I asked him about the college, talked to him where it was from Indianapolis, you know, how far to get there and all that stuff. I sat down and shared with him. Since I'd not been here I'd been here before, so I had a visa. Okay, so maybe I need to go back. So that's the first time I got this visa, and that's the same way you got to come here. The old process is that you got to get a lot of stuff before you're able to get to the United States. And so when I first got that first visa to come here, I had to go through all that. Was when I had to go there that early morning. 4:30, went in, talked to the immigration officer, And I think I had blessings that day. I got through. And I was able to come and visit, spend I think a week with my brother initially, and then I went back home, spent another period of time, and so now I'd come before, went back home, and then now coming to America for my studies was a different time. So that was in 92. I came for studies. I came to United States, I think it was 87, 86, 87. It was 86 was the first time I came here. 86. And then didn't spend much time. I went to New York. That first trip, another friend of mine, that was just after, I'm trying to figure out this thing, I need to get it right. Yeah, it's after Gilbert, 87. That's when I came. I went to New York. Another friend of mine was in Philadelphia or somewhere in that area there, and he was going back home. He's working with evangelism, outreach, open air evangelism. And we were going to carry home because then as he went home, he was getting a lot of stuff to take back home to Jamaica. It was after the hurricane, after Gilbert. And we drove from, I took the train from Brooklyn and got off at Newark in New Jersey. And we drove together from New Jersey down to Florida. He had one of these Ford vans, maybe about 8 seaters. But it didn't have a seat. We had all food, tires. I mean, that thing was packed. We drove slowly along the way. I remember when we got to Washington, D.C. We lost. We got off one of the ways and missed our turn going down on 95. And eventually we got to Florida, and it took us quite a few days because we drove very slowly down. Then we went to Florida. We spent another day or two. And my friend he had a van to the shipyard because he was going to get the van to go down on the ship. And we flew in, and so he had to wait a couple of days after. Yeah, so that was when I came that first time. Oh yeah, I went to Orlando too. Went to what's the place there? The magic place we go to.
Disney World?
Disney World, yeah. I remember my friend that time I was in Florida and I had friends there, still up, and she decided, let's go to Disney World. And we got up, says, okay, they picked me up in the morning we left Miami maybe about 4 o'clock.
Had you heard of Disney World before?
Yeah.
You'd heard about it?
Yeah. And we got to Disney World. We probably got there about, it's supposed to be a 3-hour ride. So we got there probably about 7:30. She drove the turnpike. And we went in, she was about 4 of us. And we spent a whole day. I had one of the things when I went there first, was the long lines, man. It was, man, these lines were long, man. And they just to get into one place is 1 hour. So you're crawling and you're waiting, wait. And then you got in, saw some of those Mickey Mouse stories and all that stuff. I went to that one today. I went climbing the tree. There's a big old tree there I got to climb, and I was dead scared. I tell you, fear was fear of heights was, and I had to tell myself, look, there are other people climbing that tree, so you got to do it. I'm in line, brother, so I went up there and walked around on this tree, then came back down. And then we went to Rocky Mountain, and we had to run down on a train.
Yeah.
Said, oh God. I wondered if I could make it. I did make it. Splashed down that water. We did a lot of other stuff. Plus, we went up to this. There's one where you had to go on the airplane. It shoots way out and then drops.
Oh yeah.
And